All right, folks, we got ourselves a brand new featured location. Welcome to this deck guide where I'm going to talk to you about 3 individual decks, a pool 1 deck, a pool 2 deck, and a pool 3 deck that takes advantage of Warrior Falls. And what it's going to do is it's going to help you win some damn cubes, because here's the thing you got to know. These decks are designed for pool 1, 2, and 3, and they're designed so that, like, hey, you're going to win games even if you don't have Warrior Falls, because if you're new to the game, featured locations like Warrior Falls are for 48 hours, and you have a 40% chance to pull them, which means 60% of the time they're not there. So if your deck is like too hyper focused on like Warrior Falls, you're just going to lose the game. You have to have a good balanced deck with answers for Warrior Falls as well. Moreover, it's also important to note that on Sundays we have hot locations. They're different. They're 24 hours, but a 60% chance. That's a little different. But anyways, we got this really interesting Warrior Falls location, and I've actually got a really awesome guide for you here because, as I mentioned, we got 3 decks, but what we're going to start with, I'm actually going to tell you my top 12 cards for taking advantage of Warrior Falls first, and then we're going to get into the deck list, and then we're going to get into some absolutely wild gameplay clips that we're taking on Twitch. All right, so let's take a moment to talk about the Warrior Falls top 12, and basically these are all cards that really synergize well with Warrior Falls. They're in energy order because that's what the game does. But anyways, so basically you have Deadpool. The nice thing about Deadpool is if you keep feeding into situations where he keeps getting killed, you get free procs on Deadpool that you can guarantee. And then when he becomes super huge and you can't kill him easily, guess what? The opponent can't kill him easily either. And if they do, you get a bigger Deadpool. You win. Deadpool, very interesting. Ebony Maw is really interesting as well because he's a 1/7. Although he is countered by Killmonger, Ebony Maw allows you to trade very effectively for 1 cost, which basically owns that location until they commit a 5 or 6 cost on top. So a really good card for holding that Warrior Falls location, basically baiting out the Killmonger and allowing you to make strategies to win the other 2 locations. Armor basically just negates Warrior Falls. If you hate when Warrior Falls, play Armor. Quake is absolutely god tier. Okay, listen. This might be the best card for Warrior Falls. I don't care what anyone says. Basically, you take the location and you swap them. So you allow your opponents to like play cards and think like, oh, I'm okay. And then you just swap the locations, allow your opponents to beat the crap out of each other. You gotta love it. Quake, awesome. Again, like Armor, you can just flood a location, get rid of it, and who cares, right? Storm, always a good card. Location control, very, very good. Polaris is excellent because you can play a situation where basically you pull an opposing 1 or 2 cost card into the location and forcibly duel. She's a 3/5. No one's going to be able to challenge her in a dueling situation. All right, so Maximus is actually a pretty good option as well. He's a 3/7. He's a big body. The disadvantage, of course, of giving the additional 2 cards to your opponent can be a bit of a factor. But again, this kind of mode definitely benefits a large-bodied card if you're playing a value-style deck. Of this list, I do think he's the weakest, but of course, it's in kind of mana order here. Namor is actually absolutely incredible. I think he's one of the best cards for Warrior Falls. If you're in low collection scores in pool 1 and 2, you can definitely rely on ongoing lists to basically carry you through this location using Namor. Wild card, probably one of the absolute best cards for this location. You have Arrow, which is great because you can force trade, favorable trades into the location. Anytime you can manipulate enemy movement is super valuable to you. Dr. Octopus is like the absolute meme play. You basically pull 4 random cards into their location, usually playing in conjunction with like Wave or something. Basically what happens is you just leave those cards. Even if Doc Ock dies, you're just destroying, like they're just punching each other out. It destroys their entire deck basically. Absolutely unbelievable card. Probably the absolute best. I know I said that already, but about Namor, but honestly, Doc Ock actually probably the actual best. Magneto's pretty cool because you can play in conjunction with Kingpin. You have multiple win conditions. If you wave it out, you pull guys over, you punch them out, whatever, and then you can actually play Kingpin later on in turn 6. And if you have not played Magneto into Warrior Falls, you can then wipe out a whole bunch of the opposing board. So that's pretty cool too. Gives you a lot of deck building opportunities. And Death is interesting if you play a deck based around, like if you play Deadpool and you're constantly trading into Warrior Falls, Death becomes a situation where like basically just becomes a free card because there's so many deaths happening in Warrior Falls that deaths like cost just plummets, right? So a really interesting card in this location as well. Let's talk about the deck lists. All right, so for those of you in pool number 1, I've got an awesome deck for you, and a reminder that like this deck is designed so that the 60% of the time you don't have Warrior Falls, like you still win the game. You still have an excellent deck with a lot of synergy that's going to work for you. And when you do get Warrior Falls, you have answers for it. The answer specifically here is either Armor, which means that like it just does nothing now because you can't destroy anything. So you play Armor and it's just a regular location. Cool. But the real fun, and if you really want to have fun, is you use Namor. Namor, basically Cristiano Ronaldo here. What he does is he goes in, becomes a 4/10. There's no Shang-Chi's in pool 1. So basically he's a 4/10 and like just says, fight me. Fight me, come at me. He's basically one of the biggest single drop cards you can play, and nobody's going to want to contest him in the lane. And the nice thing about it is if they decide they're going to, you know what, I'm going to play someone big. I'm going to play, well, I mean, if they play Hulk, it ends up trading anyway, but let's say they play Hulk on turn 6. If you Spectrum, he ultimately becomes, you guessed it, a 412. And you win the lane. Why? Because you have Mr. Fantastic that gives you an extra +2. So there's a ton of synergy in this deck. Realistically, the closer you want to pull off is Spectrum. You also have Blue Marvel to give you the extra +1 if you need to trade with someone like a Hulk, right? Like, Namor is going to trade so damn good. You're going to be blown away at how well he holds Warrior Falls. Why is Chavez in the list? Chavez is in the list just so you ensure you draw your cards in the proper order. Also guarantees a turn 6 play if you don't draw Spectrum, but it actually makes sure that you can be able to play on curve and get Namor into that location when you can. For the Pool 2 deck, we try to think a little bit outside the box while still giving you a deck that you're probably familiar piloting, while also giving you a deck that we know works in the current meta. So we devised a Devil Dinosaur deck that also takes advantage of Warrior Falls. And the key way you do this is, once again, you have the armor. You can armor Warrior Falls. You can storm Warrior Falls. That's probably the easiest thing to do, honestly. But you can also Ebony Maw Warrior Falls. Because with Ebony Maw, it's a 1-drop with 7 power that makes it extremely difficult for them to actually trade and challenge you. Because, like, until turn 5 and 6, like, there's no other cards that really trade with a 1/7. It's insane. What, do they commit their Chavez as a 1, against a 1/7? So they're playing a 6/9 to compete with a 1/7 to win 1 lane, while you're using literally your Devil Dinosaur, your Storm, and your White Queen to win the others? Insane. The other side, and this is important to understand, is that Killmonger will counter Ebony Maw. So if you are facing Killmongers, that does counter Ebony Maw, but in my experience testing the deck for the last several hours on stream, no one was playing Killmonger because everyone was trying to, like, do other things with the particular Warrior Falls. They were trying to build up greater powers, Black Panthers, stuff like that. So your mileage may vary, right? That's the only weakness to this, but realistically, you have answers like Shang-Chi. You have an excellent card in White Queen, which you can be used to follow up on Storm. You play Storm, you play White Queen as a 4/6, you pull their highest cost card in their hand, you get some information, you also win the lane. A lot of synergy here in this deck. All right, so Pool 3, here we are. We've got a wild deck list. Listen, the whole point of this deck list was to have, like, insane amounts of fun. So that's exactly what I built. And if you're watching this and you're brand new to the game, you probably don't have all these cards because I really went overboard with, like, the synergy here. But if you are interested in playing some Pool 3 absolute psychotic gameplay for this location, I've got you. So basically this is how it works. You have Iceman, Nightcrawler, Coccia, you've got all this stuff. Quake! Okay, so listen, Quake sucks, but when you take the Warrior Falls and they have other cards in other locations and you switch it and they're just like, LOL, my cards are killing themselves now. Oh, it is so good. Quake. Oh, it's perfect in this location. You got the wave, which lets you sneak out arrows so you can force fights. You bring their card in, you just kill it. You bring cards in with Magneto, you kill them. You bring in their whole lineup into Warrior Falls with Doc Ock, and they just literally smoke each other nonstop because they can't stop because they're all in there. It is so funny. Oh my gosh. Jubilee's great too because you pull a card in, and then of course she just dies anyway because you fight her. She's a 4/1, but you get the value. Polaris is great early on. You pull a card in, you trade with it. Right? This is all about basically forcing guys to just duel you over and over and over again. That's all it is. While also having some major trickery with Quake. Guys, this is awesome. And honestly, at the end of the game, if you're like, hey, you got Kingpin set up, right? If a card moves there, you destroy it. So what you do is basically you set up Kingpin, and if you have Arrow, which forces an enemy to a card to be played to that location, moves it, gets destroyed by Kingpin, you can force 3/4 cost cards to come into the Kingpin lane with Magneto, destroy them that way as well. There's so much viability with this deck. I had so much fun. If it wasn't the middle of the night for me, I'd still be playing this deck right now. We're going to be playing it tomorrow for sure on stream, so check out the stream, by the way. And now you've got to check out these absolutely amazing gameplay clips from Twitch TV. You've got to join us on Twitch. We have so much fun, and the best thing about these clips is that they're insanely educational, and they really showcase just how awesome Warrior Falls is, for better or for worse. Warrior Falls, here we go. Let's go. So we could just get rid of it. That is one strategy, by the way, just like Scarlet Witch it. No, we do this. We play start with Korg here. He's avoiding it. He Icemans. How dare you? How dare you? We want Namor in there. Oh, Raft, nice. If we want to be complete clowns, by the way, we can play armor into it and it doesn't do anything. But I mean, for the sake of having fun here, we're gonna play into it. He does play 2 cards. It is Nightcrawler and Ant-Man, so he is gonna be able to complete this location. It is assumed. So he's gonna get the free 6, but we might actually still win. We're not gonna complete this location. We're gonna put Namor into Warrior Falls. If his free 6 might be able to compete with it, though. That's kind of the tricky part. Okay, yeah, he does take it. He plays a rock. He plays the rock to get the free 6, which is crazy. Because now it makes it he loses that location. Like, there's no way he can win the location. So he got a free 6 drop, but at what cost? He plays Khazar. Okay, that gives him a lot of extra value there, too. This gives us options. This makes him nervous. He plays Iron Man.
Damn, Iron Man.
He's got a free 6 drop. Let's not forget that for a sec. But can he 1v1 Namor? What we do here is we do Spectrum, so he becomes a 12. Spectrum's 5. We get to 11. We hit it. He gets the +3. We snap. We go. It's very hard for him to fight into Namor here. I think he retreats. Because, like, even though we're not going to see the fight, he snaps back. Okay, this is interesting. I'm willing to go for the 8 cubes here. Because Namor's going to be at 12. So what does he drop? Unless he drops, like, Magneto? He moves Nightcrawler over. He drops Odin. Okay. It's pretty decent. Let's go! Yes! By 1! Spectrum, let's go! Damn, that felt so good! What a play! We got Warrior Falls, nice. Again, Ebony Maw's a really good card there, just to kind of hold that location. We can also move the Ebony Maw out into New York later, which is kind of cool. So we'll want to leave a little bit of space, and we also have the Devil Dinosaur. So this actually works out pretty well for us. Get Machine World. So again, we could just storm it. We could storm the Warrior Falls, but instead we're gonna keep the meme dream alive here. We're gonna actually storm the Machine World. Because we have a decent follow-up here, which I think is okay. He does play into this location. If he out-tempos us, it's a bit of a challenge. He plays Thor. So we're in a situation where we might have to give this location. Alternatively, we can zoo into it. He is going to get the +6. He skips the Thor, so he's committing to playing Mjolnir on him, and we're actually going to hold that lane. So we do beat him by 1 if he holds that location. He Jubilees. He pulls Leech. It's actually pretty good with Ebony Maw, honestly. That works pretty well with Ebony Maw. Now, that makes it so that realistically our Devil Dinosaur cannot be used on Warrior Falls. So what we're going to do instead, we Ebony Maw. Just thinking. Who do we draw Chavez next. We actually we straight up do this. We straight up go, we snap, and Chavez trades mid. It's fine. We actually didn't pull many of the, we didn't pull many cards. Devil Dinosaur would have been small anyways. And with the Ebony Maw getting leeched, he actually gives us the opportunity to zoo in this location. A 1/7 is a lot of value, right? Ooh, what a guy. He landed it. He absolutely landed. He has to gap 11 there. There's a chance that he cannot fight through America Chavez. Now, the other smart play could be to play the Mr. Fantastic. However, it's worth noting there's a good chance that he plays Mjolnir mid and then gets the +6 here anyways, but he has to commit at least 11 there. We go mid with the America Chavez. We see what happens here with Warrior Falls. He goes mid. It's Hulk! So he does win. I mean, this is a loss, but I mean, it's a perfect example of Warrior Falls. I don't get the cubes here, but like, that's Warrior Falls in a nutshell. Like, we literally 1v1'd mid, Chavez versus Hulk, a tide flooded location, one on the other side, and he won. Like, I think like a turn 6 1v1 mid with 2 6 drops, I don't think I could find a better video. Oh no! Oh, I just played my Nightcrawler into Warrior Falls, but guess what? It don't matter because we get to move the Nightcrawler. We can also debate him with the Quake. We're gonna hold Quake for a sec. I'm gonna hold the Nightcrawler for a second too. I want to see him play something. Play something, fool. We got so many options, right? We can Quake him, then we can Polaris him, then we can Arrow him again. We probably could have just played Quake. We also could have just tempoed Quake not into mid. But if like, what are we doing? We want our memes to be dreams, so we gotta play the location. That's the whole point of this video. We gotta play the location. Because if we're not playing the location, then what are we doing? Watch this. We're just memeing now. Oh my god. We're just absolutely memeing on. Oh, I forgot they're tied. That's right. It's sewer system. Oh, they love tap there. Hey, Coccia, get over here. No. Okay. We're gonna do this. And then we're gonna Jubilee sewer system to pull Doc Ock. Or we just pull Doc Ock into the Warrior Falls for the memes. Oh god. Iceman? No, it's my Magneto! Come on! Oh, you're getting buff? Well, now you're screwed, bud. Now you can just kill each other. Hold on. Okay, we gotta be smart about this. We gotta be smart. We play Magneto over here. We let these guys slap the crap out of each other. He plays Black Panther. Oh my god, okay. He's got Black Panther. That was his best play. I pull the Ironheart there, which messes up his Odin play, if that's what he has. He beats up his dude over there. Final turn comes in. We're winning there. He's winning here. It has to be Chavez. This is awkward. We go for the memes. He goes mid. Okay. Get knocked out! Let's go! What a win!